Okay, we are live with the second self-isolation chat, and it's just the three of us for now. But if you want to join, then let me know, and I'll hook you up with a link, an invite link, and you can join in.
You'll notice that our avies are all 2 meters apart.
Well, mine's only 6 feet away from you, so.
Metric.
Yeah, well, you get an extra 6
3/4
inches from Black Sofa, but not from me.
Whoa, let's not go there.
So, how are people coping?
Well, it's very weird, isn't it? It's all very, very weird. I think it's surreal, is it? That's just the word for me, surreal. The things I see and the things I hear,
yeah.
It's very, very weird. And it's going to get weirder because I think we're only into week 2, are we, in the UK or something like that?
Yeah.
Of lockdown. So,
yeah, and I realize that where I'm at, it's relatively mild here compared to what I, hear from people in other countries and other states.
Okay. And our prime minister is in quarantine. He's still got temperature, apparently.
He's looking quite unwell, actually.
He is, yeah.
Well, no comments. That's all I've got to say on that matter.
Yeah.
No biscuits, so spooky bed hair.
I now want hobnobs.
Hobnobs. I like those, actually.
Everybody loves hobnobs. You can buy them in America.
I don't know what those are.
I'm never going to attempt to explain biscuits to an American. It's like trying to talk about gravy. It's just don't even go there.
So, what's the difference between a biscuit and a cookie?
Oh, well, God. You really want to go there? This will be World War III. Actually, the worst one is butter.
Yes.
Never get into that conversation about butter, having butter on sandwiches. Americans just don't get that at all.
Yeah, well, when you say biscuits, I'm assuming you're talking about like a shortbread cookie.
Well, it doesn't have to be shortbread. Any kind of biscuit. Yeah, you can't do it without using the word biscuit. This could be the new game to get us through quarantine.
Yeah.
Have a conversation without mentioning the word biscuit. I'm going to market that idea.
Well, one of my background projects is I've been compiling an American English lexicon under the working title of what is a lorry and how did you get hit by one in a zebra crossing? Just all of the British phrases that most Americans don't understand.
Yeah. My favorite biscuits are custard creams.
Oh yes. Oh, you little tease. I like ginger nuts, actually.
I thought we were talking about biscuits.
Tish.
Well, as far as cookies, I just go with the classic chocolate chip mostly. But I like the soft ones.
Yes, I like the soft ones as well.
Oh, this is going to go in badly already, isn't it?
Now, talking about butter, I mean, there are different variations depending on what part of the UK you're from as well.
This is true, yeah. This is true.
Now,
But I
to
think
me,
even butter to the Americans, I think they have a distrust of it, because the stuff that they get that they call butter is basically squirrel jizz, as far as I understand. It's not very pleasant, whereas our butter is rather yummy.
yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, butter is solid.
Well, we could argue about this. Do you mean solid as in it's really good in it, or do you mean?
No, it's a block.
Oh yeah,
It's a
of
solid
course.
block.
Oh,
Whereas,
so you're not
whereas,
into. Okay, you go.
whereas margarine is spreadable.
Okay. We're actually having a discussion about butter. Good grief. And we're only into week 2.
I know, and it's just week 2.
Well, I will make the distinction between real butter and margarine. You know, and that's, a lot of the margarine we get here is just utter crap and stuff I won't even eat. If I'm going to bother, I at least have to have real butter.
In another 2 weeks' time, we'll be dreaming about butter. We'll be saying, do you remember in the good old days when you could get butter?
Yeah, I expect that it goes on long enough, it's going to be a lot like the shortages that they've had during war times.
Lurpak is not lard. Oh, but we'll probably end up eating lard, won't we? Lard on hobnobs.
Yes, I remember lard. Do
Yeah.
people still use lard?
I think they do. Yeah, they use it for cooking. You melt it in a pan and cook something in it. I don't know what.
Well, yeah, it's not so much anymore, but before they had all the prepackaged foods we have now, it was common practice to render the lard to use it for cooking and baking.
Yeah.
Did you say render the lard?
Yeah. Basically, letting the grease cool and skimming the lard off.
But what's the difference between lard and dripping?
Oh, Christ.
Well, I think that's, basically what I was just saying, that the drippings is all of the meat juices. The lard is after you've let it cool and you skim the solids off.
Don't ask complicated cooking questions to somebody who's just made a tin of Spam last 3 days.
Yeah, actually, we should have Sloth Girl in here for the cooking questions. It's not really my area.
Junk Shop Library says that his grandmother used lard to cook almost everything.
My father used to use it, especially for frying potatoes.
Okay.
He actually said Lars, so I thought he was doing some kind of funky Star Wars reference.
Yeah.
I thought it was a reference to, is it Lars Ulrich? What band is he from now? My brain's turned to mush.
No, he was talking about Uncle Owen, Lars.
Well, Spooky, it's good that you're not bleeding chemists, because we need the chemists to stay healthy. They've got to get the medicine for the rest of us.
Yeah. So.
Yep. Yeah. Doorknob Head saying, my mom always had a clay lard jar next to the stove, bacon grease. She used it for most things. And that's, my father also grew up in the Depression. So yeah, he always he usually just used a coffee can there, but the bacon grease and any other meat grease.
Okay.
It's
It-
funny. It's funny how we eased gently from Boris Johnson into lard.
Yeah, funny that. Yeah. But I was going to say this talk about lard reminds me of a joke that my dad always used to tell us when we were growing up. Why are fat boys afraid to go out in the rain? Because they're afraid they'll come back dripping.
Ah,
Mm.
Skidoosh.
that's really shit.
No. Yes.
And they're only going to get worse. That's the sad thing.
Yeah. I thought that I would never tell shit jokes to my kids, but I do. I have turned into my dad, and now I tell them shit jokes all the time, and they groan just as loudly as we used to growing up as well.
It's part of the job description, I think.
Yeah. All Sarah for saying I thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah. Stick around, it gets better.
Yeah, I think I was telling jokes like that before I was even a dad. So
Okay.
Sophie, did you watch Have I Got News for You this evening?
No, I didn't.
Neither did I. So that's a good conversation starter. So I can't remember what's the Steph McGovern. You know Steph, don't you?
No, I don't actually.
Oh, she's the she presents Have I Got News for You every now and again. She's like the business, or she was the business correspondent for BBC News on breakfast or whatever. And she's quite good. And she posted a photo of how they were broadcasting or how they'd recorded this evening's Have I Got News for You. And it's basically from her kitchen. And it showed the setup and it showed what she could see on her screen. So she's got Hislop in his library in one corner, Paul Merton in another corner. And I'm just looking at my screen now and thinking, this is like a really shit version of that.
This is a poor man's Have I Got News for You.
Yeah, this is budget British television. This is the future, I believe.
Yes.
All we need now is we need a little timer in the corner counting down to the next bin day, and we're sorted.
Yeah, exactly.
Public broadcasting.
But I've gone off Have I Got News for You because I just don't think it's funny anymore.
I haven't watched it regularly for many years, but I do occasionally catch up on the longer versions on iPlayer because occasionally they can be quite amusing. But it's not something I'd watch regularly. But then again, I don't watch any TV these days. It's just utter crap.
Yeah, a lot of it is. But I feel Paul Merton, especially, is just going through the motions.
Oh yeah, he's a bit of a one-trick pony. He has been for many years. It's just the same expressions, all that stuff.
I mean, in the early days, he was very, very quick, very witty, very funny. But these days, he's just, I think he's just glad to still be working.
Yeah, it's a bit of a production line thing. 10 years. Well, I think he probably is still a funny bloke, but we don't get to see him being funny. We just get to see him on Have I Got News for You? And that is basically him just doing the same old gags and the same old facial expressions.
Yeah.
Oh, don't get naked and wet, door knobhead. Please don't do that.
Yeah, but thanks for dropping by, Doorknob Head. And hopefully see you again on this channel another time.
I find it interesting listening or hearing people talk about what's on British TV at the moment, because obviously, as crap as it is usually, it's now even more crap. And all these people who've never seen daytime TV before, scratching their heads thinking, what the fuck is this shite?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Purple. This must be a bit boring for you. Us two Brits going on about, have I got news for you?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I don't really know the people you're talking about, but, you know, I can pretty much guess.
It's basically a satirical, topical news quiz that's been going on here in the UK for, must be over 20 years now.
Oh, yeah, 30 maybe.
Yeah. And I really liked it when Angus Deaton was the presenter.
Yeah, but he was a naughty boy.
Yes. But naughty enough to get sacked?
In those days, yeah. I mean, if I remember correctly, all he did was get caught. Was he sniffing cocaine off some lady's breasts or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Or is that another one of my weird dreams? I can't tell these days.
I don't know, these days sounds like good, clean fun.
It was snorting cocaine out of a chorus girl's arsehole, I think, or something like that.
Okay, I think that's one of your weird dreams.
Yeah, probably. But these days, you're right. He probably wouldn't get sacked.
No, it's nothing these days. But
no.
Oh, I just thought of something, but I'm going to behave because we're being rude talking about British things when we've got a lovely American with us.
Yes.
So we've now got to think of something that we've all got in common. What could it be? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that sucks about this is I've been talking to someone online, and if this had taken like one more week, I would have actually had my first date in 5 years.
Ugh.
You know, but yeah, not really a time to be going out and meeting new people.
No. You could Skype, I suppose, or Zoom or whatever.
Yeah, we're still, trading messages back and forth, but like I said, not going to actually be able to do anything more than that for some time. And that's the other thing I see. I don't know if it's happening over there as much as in the US, but people don't seem to be getting the idea that this is not going to be over quickly.
No.
Everybody here seems to have the attitude that, well, yeah, this sucks, but in a couple of weeks we'll be back to normal.
No.
And no, people, you got to prepare for this being like probably about a year.
Yeah, I think I don't know, from what I can say, what I sense, you've got a lot of young people who still think, well, it's not going to affect us, it's just for the old people. That seems to be a bit of a common thing. But you've also got these dickheads, such as Peter fucking Hitchens, who's still mouthing off with this nonsense about, oh, it's no worse than the flu and all that shite. Did you see him on the telly?
I didn't see him on the television, but he's been mouthing off on Twitter about it as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, and we've got politicians and religious leaders here doing the same kind of thing.
He was on Good Morning Britain, which is not a thing I would ever watch. And I certainly would not watch Piers Morgan, but there's a clip out there, and I saw it. It was only broadcast, I think, about 3 or 4 days ago. And Piers Morgan and whatever that girl is called are in the studio, and then on
Susanna
Sky,
Reid.
I don't know her fucking name. I don't give a shit. I don't watch this bullshit. But and on the screen, you've got the other participants in this discussion. There's about 5 others, all on Skype. One of whom is Peter Hitchens.
Yeah.
You should watch it if you've never seen him actually speak. Blot out all the other people. Don't look at them and just watch him as he's not talking and as he's talking. And the guy is an absolute fucking arsehole. I swear to God. He's a rude, obnoxious pile of shit. And this was only 3 or 4 days ago when it was broadcast. And he's still doing the thing about flu is worse. Because of, the old, flu kills more people shit.
Yeah, but first of all, it isn't. And second of all, it's a new strain. We don't know anything about this.
Yeah, but
and
all the grown-ups in the room know this. But when you've got people like, for example, Peter Hitchens, who are supposedly, quote, intellectuals, being given a platform to spew such bollocks, that's why you've got people out there who think, oh, well, it's not so serious. It'll be over with. It's just about a flu.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here, even Trump was really downplaying the whole thing right up until this week.
Yeah, that's right.
He was talking about keeping the economy going and, having the churches filled for Easter.
Oh, fuck yeah. I enjoy watching. I don't do it as much as I used to, but I try to keep up with the American news. So most of the Trump propaganda updates, his coronavirus speeches, are pretty much ignored now because, as we know, My Pillow guy and all that shit.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed watching, your late show type things in America with Colbert and those guys.
Yeah, I like watching Colbert and John Oliver.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching the things that they're doing from home. I found those to be quite entertaining. It's Colbert especially, the ones he's doing in isolation. I found those. I watch those in the wee hours when I should be doing other things.
Yeah, that he's actually got his family doing all the film crew stuff.
Yeah, it is very good.
It's kind of funny. It's like, these professional comedians and journalists have now been brought down to the level of the people producing stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, it is really good. It's fascinating. But Colbert, I think, is doing a really good job of it because he still manages to make it. And I like what he's called it, a late show. And he still manages to pull it off. I think it's quite splendid that we don't have that kind of shit over here, your late show type things. As far as I'm aware, I think Jonathan Ross did something or tried to, I don't know.
Yeah, he did, but it fell a bit flat for me.
It's never been a big thing over here, has it?
No.
Yeah, I tend to mostly watch the clips online rather than watching the whole show just because I really don't much care for like the interviews with the celebrity guests and that.
Yeah, I think that's what we're missing over here. So for that kind of thing that the Americans have, that sort of nightly or once weekly live late thing that they get.
Do you remember? Yeah, thank fuck it's Friday. Every Friday night on Channel 4.
I do, yes.
That was the closest thing we've had to something like that, I think.
That was quite good in its day. That was something that you looked forward to watching.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work these days because all people want to watch these days is bloody, I don't know, dancing on the jungle with a dress on ice or something.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and just, I don't know, it still seems the big thing is all these basically upscale versions of high school talent shows.
Yeah.
It's all these, competitions for singing and dancing. It's like,
Yeah. There's really nothing that I can think of that I would want to watch on British television.
yeah,
Oh, I remember that as well. Yeah,
Yes, classic TV.
that was a classic. Yeah.
I
yeah, I really
remember.
don't watch TV either. There's a couple of things that, I'll get them when I can online, but nothing that I really watch on a regular basis.
Oh, and I've just remembered where I was going with this. I went on a bit of a tangent there, talking about watching your your orange thing, whatever it's called, president, I think he is. I was listening to Scaramucci, and I don't mean Queen, Galileo, but Anthony Scaramucci was was on the phone to the radio station, and he was always a bit of a slimy piece of shit, but he now actually seems to be a normal human being, and he was talking about how your orange thing was handling the situation, and he said, yeah, I'm paraphrasing, but he said basically, yeah, he fucked up. But he now seems to have understood that this is a real problem. That was a good interview, actually. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think Trump's one of those people that he's not going to really realize it's serious until it's someone he personally knows that dies from it.
Yeah, but even then, he'll still try to find a way to cash in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was boasting about about being number one on Facebook.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. He has to make it about himself.
Everything's about his money and his ego. That's all.
I saw
every opportunity he gets, he makes it about himself.
You know, you've got some kind people on the Twitters who will save you the ordeal of having to watch or listen to Trump, and so they'll live tweet all the nonsense that he's doing. And I saw this the other day, and I thought, "Fuck off! That's not real." Seriously. Oh no! I'll tell you what happened. He tweeted for one. He made one tweet the other day about Iran. He threatened a war with Iran. I don't know whether you saw it.
No, I didn't.
No.
Yeah. And I thought, fucking hell, he's doing a squirrel. You know who does a squirrel? Look, there's a squirrel to divert your attention. One single tweet about Iran. Nothing before, nothing since. And he was threatening Iran, and I thought, fucking hell. Next, I thought to myself, the next squirrel will be caravans. And sure fucking enough, caravans. In one of his live press majigs, he was talking about fucking caravans.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know if he saw it. He said, I can't remember the words because I just saw a brief clip, and he was saying, "Oh, do you remember 2 years ago I saved you from the caravans?" I thought, fucking, I knew it. It's always the caravans with this guy. And then I'm number one on Facebook. What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah.
It's not even a thing. What does it mean?
And it's not even true. Barack Obama has more followers on Facebook than he does.
I know. He's just not.
Oh, that would kill him if he knew that.
He's a toddler.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for him to find some way to, twist it around that this whole virus thing is Obama's fault. he tries to blame Obama for everything.
But didn't he do away with Obama's pandemic response team
Yeah.
when he
Yep.
first came into power?
Yep.
Just because it was Obama who set it up.
Yeah, well, and he hasn't done a lot of his job. You know, even 3 years in, there's a lot of appointed positions that he never filled. So,
Yeah.
like, he's going on about how FEMA has done this fantastic response to this. And right up until this thing started, FEMA had no director. He had never appointed anyone to be the director of FEMA.
Mhm. Yeah.
So for 3 years, that agency was running without a director.
Yeah. He's incompetent.
So you saw the thing. I can't remember how many bin days ago this was, but you saw the thing where he was doing. It was when he was signing that $2 trillion thingy bill, and he was handing out his Sharpies.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Pandemic, 2 meters. He's handing out his fucking Sharpies on fucking live TV.
Oh,
And
God.
that just sprung to mind because, in a way, it's hilarious, but you can't laugh at it. But
Yeah.
Purple just mentioned about how he's incompetent and he hasn't got all the staff in place and what have you. And about how he's got this thing about revenge.
Yeah.
Which is well known about him if you're familiar with the Richard Branson story. But he's got this revenge thing about Obama. Do you remember when he first came into office, the orange thing, and he went through this phase of making a big deal about signing all these bills, and most of them were to get rid of stuff that Obama had introduced. And the first two of the first ones he signed, I remember this. One was about industries being allowed to pump their industrial shit into rivers and lakes.
Yeah.
And he reversed it. He actually sat there and signed his thing, made a big deal. And the other one was, and I can't remember the wording of the bill, of course, so I'll use my own words. Obama decided that it wasn't nice to go around shooting bears in the face while they're hibernating. And he reversed it. And that was one of the first things he did.
Hello, Greg.
He's very well known for. He's got a revenge fetish.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
it's most of the stuff he signed. Yeah, a lot of it was just to try and undo anything Obama did, you know, but a lot of it was just for his own corporate interests. Basically, you know, he's doing away with any sort of environmental regulations so that companies can do anything they want.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of that's because they're industries he's invested in.
And what scares me is that this is the man with his finger on the button.
Mm-hmm.
I am just hoping that there is, you know, somebody high up in the military officials who just made sure that there is some typo in those codes they gave him.
Yeah.
He can't read, I think we
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, just, you know, it's something just to make sure that the codes they gave him wouldn't actually work because they know he's not stable enough for that.
Not just the American button, but the British button as well. Because
we haven't got a button, you silly sod.
You know what I mean?
We've got a carrier pigeon.
But you know, because that's the fail-safe that we put in place. You know, that's the check. You know, that's the checks and those are the checks and balances that we put in place. The American president is the one who has to authorize us pushing our button, so so that we can't just start a nuclear strike without without these checks and balances in place.
Yeah.
And so
You've always got to hope that the world is operating as it should, and that behind the scenes you've got grown-ups who are stopping these idiots from fucking up royally.
Yeah.
That's what you kind of, that's how it should be, and I think that's how it has always been. But I'm not sure we can say that anymore. In America, you've got these sycophants who just crawl around kissing his ass and will do whatever he says. And in this country, we've got this problem where now all civil servants are evil, and they're trying to get rid of people who don't agree with the government and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, I remember the 80s, and it was scary. And I think this is much more scarier.
Yeah.
Well, I think the most reassuring thing with Trump is that knowing that he doesn't have any friends here high up in the military or any of the intelligence agencies. He has pissed them all off.
Oh, yeah.
So just knowing that the people who actually have all the weapons probably would not take orders from him.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
But in my opinion, unfortunately, we're going to have Trump for another 4 years.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, like I said, I fully expect the virus is going to go through when we're supposed to have an election. And I don't see any way they can conduct an election. But there's no precedent for this. There's nothing in the Constitution that allows them to delay an election. So I don't know how it's going to be handled. And that's something that they need to start thinking about now, because it's going to take 6 months for them to figure out how they're going to do this when they can't have the normal election.
Yeah. Greg is suggesting by mail.
Well, and in some states, you can get absentee ballots that you can vote by mail, but that's part of the problem in the U.S. is that we don't have a single election process. It's left up to each individual state. So we have 50 separate processes, and some of them could do it by mail, and some of them, their laws won't allow it. Some of them, even to put in an absentee ballot, you have to go in person to your local courthouse to get a ballot.
Yeah. And but unfortunately, it seems that Biden is going to be, the one that's going to go against Trump anyway.
Well, yeah, the Democrats are doing everything they can to make sure it's Biden. And, I've lost all respect for the Democratic National Committee now, because it's clear that they would rather have Biden run and lose than endorse a candidate who could actually beat Trump. Because the thing I think they're really scared of is having a candidate in there who would do any kind of meaningful changes.
I think
they would rather lose the election than face the possibility of somebody introducing some meaningful election reform.
Before this man flu took over, one of the scariest things would be Trump getting a second term, because once that happens, then we're all fucked. Totally fucked. And it's not, I know this is obvious, but it doesn't just affect America, it affects the world.
Oh, yeah.
And for him to get a second term would be, I can't even imagine the horrors that would await us all.
And The Tories are definitely going to have another 5 years,
Oh, they'll
maybe
much
maybe
more.
even 10 years.
I can guarantee they'll get more than that.
Yeah.
It,
Well,
it, it
see, and
baffles the hell out of me, but they will. They'll get at least another 10.
this is one of the things, we were talking before we went live, and I mentioned about this 1,200-page bill they passed that's supposed to give everyone in the U.S. $1,200, and nobody's asking what else was in there. So I'm really worried about what else got passed that they're not telling us about. Because just because they hyped the thing about everybody getting money, it would have been political suicide for anyone to vote against it, even if they knew there was something in there that's going to bite us in the ass a year from now.
I remember that tax thing that you lot did. Paul Ryan's little love child. And you remember the hoo-ha about how it turned into this huge multi-thousand-page document that nobody was allowed to look at, never mind read, and it went through. And there were little bits buried in there, because I'm not preaching to you, Purple, because you know this, but there are little bits buried in there that most Americans would never notice. And it won't affect them individually as Americans, but it will be very, very beneficial to just maybe one person who's a politician. And in that tax thing, there's some sections about people who deal in trademarks. Doesn't affect very many people, does it? Unless you're a Trump, of course. Because that's basically their business, trademarks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's always buried away in the small print. It's like our page. Is it page 48? Oh shit, Dave's here.
Hey, Dave, what's going on with you?
Welcome, Dave.
I didn't see him sneak in. Is it our page 48 in the Tory manifesto? That scares the shit out of me. No fuckers read it.
So.
That really scares me.
What's on page 48?
Lots of scary shit. Yeah, just go and download the fucker, and if you read it, it will just jump out at you. And there's some scary shit in there.
Have you read the current emergency legislation?
I've heard bits about it, yeah.
Right. Where the hell can I download it from?
So, Dave, what's your opinion on hobnobs?
Better when chocolate coated.
Do you think so? You see, Sofa prefers them soft, so he says.
Well, they are nice soft, but you got to keep them around a little bit to get soft.
Are you a dunker?
If they're definitely not if they're chocolate. Sometimes if they're chocolate.
Oh, I love to dunk the chocolate.
Well, if they're chocolate coated, are you talking like chocolate dipped or?
No, the top of it.
He's multitasking, Purple. Give him 10 minutes.
Give him 10 minutes. 40.
He's Googling biscuits.
Well, because like the chocolate dipped cookies, it's pointless to dunk them because the stuff can't soak through the chocolate. So
no, we cover the top of our biscuits.
Okay.
So the base is always is open.
Okay, so more like frosted.
Yeah, more like frosted. Yeah.
Now this is what we needed earlier. Somebody who can actually explain a biscuit.
My favourite is custard creams, as I said earlier, but also bourbons.
I love a bourbon.
Oh, yes.
And I really love the giant bourbons you can get.
Oh, yes. This is better than Pornhub. What?
See, we need Badger in here because I'm sure
we do.
he's
Just wait. Just wait. We can get back to you.
He's an expert in all things biscuits, I'm sure.
Somebody was saying that along with so many other companies that are trying to at least get good PR with making things more bearable for people, that Pornhub is making their premium level free this month for everyone.
Yeah, it's free in some countries. It's free in the UK, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah. No,
I guess it is in the US too. I haven't checked
I
it.
said apparently. I think it's free in most of Europe. And I did try clicking on the doodah, which I often do when I'm watching Pornhub, but apparently my browser didn't let me continue. And you don't need to provide any credit card details. It literally is free, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So what are all the kids that they've been scared of viewing porn for the last decade doing?
What of what?
What are all the kids that they have been terrified will view porn doing?
Watching porn. That's what kids do, isn't it? I don't know. Admitting to watching porn? I don't know.
But what is the difference between regular Pornhub and premium Pornhub?
About
I'm
£9.
asking for a friend.
£9. You get access to their actual made content.
Okay.
You get access to stuff that is labeled as current and amateur, allegedly.
Well, see, now we need Badger on here because he has said that he has a Pornhub channel. So
He has.
He does. He does.
He refuses to tell it what is it. Well, he refuses to tell us where it is.
I'm sure
I really would not be that interested in pursuing a porn channel full of animated badgers. Just not my kink, but
there may be some furries watching. They may be interested in that kind of malarkey. You never know.
I know there are some furries in the community, that's for sure.
We could set up a Pornhub channel about biscuits.
You're telling me there already isn't one? I bet you. Wait there. Let me do a search.
Oh, you're not.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there is. Isn't that Rule 34 that no matter what there is, there's a porn version of it?
That's definitely Rule 34.
I found out the other day that snail porn is a thing.
Yes.
Doorknob heads off just spread the virus. Snail porn is a thing. Okay.
But
I'm just not going to Google that at all. I mean, I'll Google anything, but I'm not going there.
I saw it in a conversation with
sure you did. Yeah.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it.
As the snail said.
Oh, we've got another visitor. We've got a badger in the house.
Oh, there's Badger. Hello.
Is this about meeting a biscuit expert?
Actually, right now we were needing an expert on Pornhub, so.
Oh, well, I can do that as well.
Okay, so is there a Pornhub channel dedicated to biscuits?
And if not, why not?
That I'm not sure about, but if there isn't, I'm sure someone will make one. And if no one else does, I will.
Well, can you settle an argument for us, Badger? Well, what is the best biscuits?
That could be our quarantine project.
Okay, and if there is a Pornhub channel dedicated to biscuits, do they have it closed caption for Americans?
Everyone's got the little circly avatars. Hang on. Where's mine?
We're social distancing.
Yes.
Yeah, right. There we go. Circly avatar. Right, the best biscuit. Are there any criteria that we need to follow here to figure out the best biscuit, or is it just the best biscuit overall out of any available biscuit?
Just what's your favorite?
We're not talking about cake.
Oh God, that's another debate for another day, I think. I'll just take biscuits or cakes.
I think it wavers for me between hobnobs and custard creams.
Yes, hobnob score.
Yes, yeah, custard creams are my favourite. Followed closely by bourbons.
You know what? I think we've got this pretty much wrapped up here, haven't we?
Yes.
I mean, they are the king of biscuits.
Or
Bourbons,
hobnobs.
Hobnobs are the kings.
No,
Custard.
bourbon.
Bourbons are the kings. do you
Yes.
think? Oh well, I can agree with that actually.
Okay, here's my take on this.
Okay, go on.
Hobnobs are the kings, but bourbons and custard creams as a group are
Princes.
they're the princes that people can actually afford.
T-Bone is saying custard creams are crushingly boring.
Well,
It's
if
almost
you,
as if you want to get blocked.
Listen, I want to know why you're discussing these controversial opinions.
if you don't want your custard creams, send them to me. But put them in isopropyl alcohol first.
You won't be able to walk.
Now put the packet in the fucking alcohol. Put the biscuit down. Speaking of which, I need to cancel that order.
Okay.
That order?
But yeah, I just Googled it to see exactly what hobnobs were, and I found a recipe for making your own. So-
Oh,
But you can
They
buy
won't
them
be-
in America.
Yeah. But basically, from the recipe, they're sugar cookies. That's what anybody in the US would know them as.
Somebody in Texas sent me a picture when he was doing his toilet roll shopping. No, that sounded weird. He was doing his shopping and he found some hobnobs in Texas. So,
interesting. Did he find toilet roll, or did he just have to use hobnobs?
he used hobnobs.
Oh, dear.
Okay. Any idea why they're called hobnobs?
Yes, it's because it is the best name.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes perfect sense then.
Okay. I'm trying to share my screen.
Does anyone know my eBay password?
Add
Here
your
are some
one.
homemade custard creams.
Why would anybody do that?
Because they're not allowed to go to the shops for another week.
Who would go to the effort of making homemade custard creams?
I bet they're really nice fresh.
Sloth Girl does a good bit of baking, so.
And she make biscuits.
Why is
Unfortunately, the last batch she did are oatmeal raisin, and oatmeal doesn't agree with my system very well, so didn't
Okay.
do me any good.
Okay.
I can't work out why Split Cam's dead. Every time it
It's
loops,
because you broke it, Dave.
yeah.
So,
Okay, Dave, split cam was not instructions. You know, you did not need to cleave the camera in half.
No, my point is I meant to show my nice avatar that Badger made. I need to use Split Cam. But it keeps just popping up messages constantly, unknown errors, and then when it gets to the end of the video, it crashes.
Is it because you're shit?
It's Split Cam that shit.
Yeah, Split Cam is a bit of it's a good piece of software in terms of its functionality, but
It doesn't work.
tends to crash.
You know, for the times I've used it, I have not had that problem with it. I haven't had actually crashing. I've had it a lot of times that it just seems to get stuck and it won't let me change the image.
It works generally for me, but occasionally it just crashes and I've got to restart it.
there-
But this
there
page
seems-
48 is horrific.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
Give
To break
us the-
it, we also
give us
need
the
to
rundown.
say again.
Give us the rundown.
Well, apart from the fact it basically changes everything about Parliament. It gives them the ability, without saying what, to change basically everything about how our government functions. We
Yes,
will
I
look
did
at the
hear
broad
about this,
aspects
yeah.
of our constitution, the relationship between the government, Parliament, and the courts, the functioning of the royal prerogative, the House of Lords, access to justice, the ability of security services to defend us against terrorism and organised crime. We will update the Human Rights Act and administrative law to ensure there is proper balance between the rights of individuals and our vital national security and effective government.
See,
Keep
this is
on
what I
going.
put on that Twitter page.
Right, and that's the vague bit. Even the bits that are here are we're going to redraw every constitutional boundary. Basically, we are going to continue to massively support first past the post. We are going to introduce voter ID everywhere.
Oh, this is. Hang on. Who's speaking now? You weird.
What
people,
country
you
is this
weird
in?
Alice.
Me. One.
That sounded remarkably like page 48.
It is. What I said.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's horrific.
Yeah, I
It
said
is,
so. And most people didn't even look at the damn thing.
Well, I didn't read the manifesto. I wasn't voting for it.
What are we talking about right now?
Conservative manifesto.
Oh.
The thing that they were elected to power on. And I've not read the whole thing, and I've no intention of doing so. But page 48, I thought, well, it was trending hashtag, and so I downloaded the damn thing, the actual document itself, whizzed to page 48, and I thought, fuck me, this is not good.
No, it's not. And the thing is, they've got a majority of 80, so they can put anything through that they want, basically.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Labour
Yeah, they're going to ban Bourbons.
Gonna do what?
Ban Bourbons.
They're going to ban Bourbons.
Yeah.
Labour are in a fucking shambles at the moment. So,
That, isn't it?
unless they get their act together, we're looking at another 10 years.
Yeah, but Labour, in theory, can't stop any of this because they have an agreement that they won't.
Yeah.
There is an agreement that if it is in the manifesto, the opposition party will not oppose it.
What's the point of the fucking opposition then?
They oppose it. They were willing to oppose anything that's not in the manifesto, which is lots of things usually.
Yeah. We're fucked. Basically. And that's how we started this conversation. We're all fucked.
We've come full circle.
I wouldn't go to America, but that's fucked as well.
America. Oh, I'm going to sound really bad. Oh no, I don't want to say it online. There've been a few comments about the fact that that we should hopefully, in the medium to long term, see a big scientific benefit from the coronavirus.
Okay.
That we get more people inspired to go into the sciences from what we're going through now, to make the next generation of scientists.
But we're all going, there's one small flaw in that plan.
Go on.
We're all going to die.
No, we're not. But here's the problem. Like with Y2K, if something doesn't go wrong, people are going to say it was nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And this is the thing. It would be to the benefit of the rest of the world if a country got it very wrong. And right now, that country is looking like America.
Yeah, that seems accurate.
Yeah.
Well, I think people are already looking at Italy as having done a lot of things wrong.
They have, but they have got on top of it.
Yeah.
And there aren't as many people in Italy.
Yeah, well, the problem with the U.S. comes back to it being that we're not really so much one country. That the 50 separate states are each handling it differently.
Hmm.
So
Dave,
it's
you
like
put
you're
on
going to
this-
have some states that are going to come through it pretty well, and you're going to have some states that it's just going to be utterly screwed up.
But the problem you've got is you're going to be reliant, given that there is no international market for ventilators now. You're going to be reliant on the other states to provide ventilators.
They could borrow our 30.
Dave,
Oh,
put your
yes.
spaceship back up.
Yeah. Trump made a statement. He's trying to get 3M to not sell masks to Canada.
All right.
We seem to be very high on testosterone.
Huh.
So if any ladies want to join the discussion, feel free. Feel free. Feel
I
free.
suppose to see
We're
because
basically
ladies
five
have some
old white
testosterone
men
anyway.
Christians.
Well, even in the side chat, other than T and Danish, do we have any ladies even watching here?
Orla.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Orla was there a while ago. I haven't seen her post recently.
I don't know whether or not demons have a gender, unfortunately. But she mostly plays female.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I
Badger
think that
is all a female.
What?
It's all a female.
Does a good job of looking that way.
Yes, but
well,
that's the
isn't
current
female when a
attitude.
package arrives postage due?
What was I gonna say?
Well, if you don't know, I don't know.
Well, I thought you would know. This is your stream.
We were hoping there was a grown-up in control.
Well, I have precognition, but my dyslexia gets in the way, and I can only predict things that happened in the past.
Dave,
Yeah.
Dave,
I
have
know
you
where
had,
you're coming
have
from.
you had your bins emptied yet?
Yes, once. But ours was just voted to go on strike. Although they haven't decided when.
I'm on
Yeah.
strike right now.
Apparently, it's after the current crisis. The vote was last week, but they're not going to go out till after.
All right. So
Okay, so we've done biscuits, bins. We're not touching gravy. We're just not going there. So what,
If you're
Well, we've
talking
done
about
a-
biscuits, you
We've
have to
done a lot
talk
of
about
politics. We need to rag on religion for a while.
oh, that's a good
Oh, what
point.
that fucking priest, the one that's organising the fucking Glastonbury?
Gathering?
No, Woodstock. Woodstock for Christians to happen now to praise because all the churches are closed. Oh, sorry, I can't get a sentence out. I'm really angry about it.
Yeah, and unfortunately in the US, that's the one thing that even if they can get the businesses to close, which is already questionable for government authority, they cannot do anything about the churches.
Of course they can.
Yeah.
The whole
They
point
can,
of
but
your
not
constitution is that
They
they
can,
can't
but not
discriminate.
without dropping themselves right in the shit.
Of course
Yeah.
they can. They just can't discriminate. They can shut the churches down as long as they shut all fucking religious temples down.
Yes.
They
That's
can't
right.
discriminate. That's what the fucking constitution implies.
Yeah, that's not quite
They,
what I
they
meant.
can, unfortunately, any politician who supports that action will have no chance of getting reelected.
Well,
So
that's
they're
more
not
of a
going to
problem.
do it.
That's definitely more of a problem.
Right.
Speaking of the Constitution, has anyone seen my pocket watch winders?
Why would that have anything to do with the constitution?
I don't know. I can't find them,
Oh.
and I want to wind a pocket watch.
Okay.
Why do you have a pocket watch?
I don't have a pocket watch. I have 1, 2, 3. That's the wrong drawer. 4, 5, 6 pocket watches.
You're a very dapper badger.
I can't close the fucking drawer now. Hang on. I'm
bad
muting myself.
It sounded to me like you now have a pile of kindling wood.
All right. So that drawer's a bit stiff.
See, bad-tempered badger is a cross between a badger and Noel Coward. So of course he's got pocket watches.
I have some very nice pocket watches. This one was made in I think the 1870s.
What are you going to get when your phone breaks?
Well, what do you mean my phone breaks? It's a Nokia. That's impossible.
No, it's not. I'm going to come and give it an accident.
Well, then I'll get out the spare Nokia.
And that one, what happens when that one has an accident?
Then I'll get out the spare Nokia.
What happens when you've run out of Nokias?
Oh, I suppose I'll have to order a Nokia.
The current
Okay,
Nokias
more
are all-
to the point, what I'm running into is even when the phone works perfectly well,
it's still
what
a Nokia.
happens when your network stops supporting it?
Well, I don't make that many phone calls.
Yeah, I know.
You might not notice.
They're forcing me to get a new one because since they're upgrading to the 5G network, they're saying that this model's not supported anymore.
Oh, well, that
That's
doesn't give. I
bullshit.
don't give a shit about that. My phone doesn't even do mobile internet.
Oh, no, I don't use it on mine either, but
No, that's not the point. The point is that they're going to rejig where the bandwidth frequencies are, which will happen to ours as well at some point.
Well, then they can fuck off, unless they make a new phone that will work on the new systems that has an actual proper keyboard on it and can sync my diary without having to go through the cloud. Then I guess I don't have a phone anymore.
And then you won't have a phone anymore, or you'll have a phone without a diary.
yeah, that's what I miss too, is that I can't get one with a proper keyboard anymore.
Well, you
I
just
hate
get
these
Bluetooth
stupid
keyboard.
touch screens.
I mean, I have oddly enough, I have both a Nokia keyboard, Bluetooth keyboard, and a normal Bluetooth keyboard that works with any phone.
I can't. I don't like things like that. I like things to be all one thing, and I like it to have the buttons that I can feel that I'm pressing them.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
no, I totally agree with that sentiment. Okay, and I totally agree that the current generation of phones are in no way as stable or
Right. I have a couple of touchscreen smartphones, like this one, for example, which you can't see because I'm a circle. But this one here, I use basically as a tablet and a camera. It's really fucking awkward as a camera because it has a back button on it. That is not actually a button. It's a thing that you've just got to have your finger vaguely near it to activate it. So when I'm trying to hold it to use it as a camera, it keeps exiting the camera.
yeah, I have that problem. I mean, everything about the current touchscreens are horrific if you've got big fingers.
I can't complain too much because I got it free, but I'm still going to complain a bit because that's fucking annoying.
Mine does kind of the opposite thing. It's when I'm trying to use it for anything else, it keeps insisting on going to camera mode.
Right.
By the way, how are you, Mr. Bilkingstool? I haven't seen you in ages.
I'm doing rather splendidly.
Outstanding.
I'm lying my ass off. Life is shit.
Yeah, I
Life
can
is
tell
shit.
that from your Twitter feed, mate.
Life is shit. And we're all going to die on a diet of fucking spam.
Well, spam's
Well-
all right as long as you don't eat like so much of it that you overdose.
I can't get over the price.
God.
£2.79. I mean, what is the world coming to? £2.79. And this is the proper spam, not the shit spam.
You think it's bad now?
Have you seen the price?
The current thing? Wait till the inflation hits of the fucking amount of money we're giving out now.
Have you seen the price of a tin of corned beef?
I've seen the price of a tin of really shit corned beef that's made out of donkey jizz. It's about 35p, and I'm not touching that. I
No.
refuse to touch that
Ah,
dirty
I
shit.
don't blame you.
35p tin of jizz beef. I might try that.
You realize what Spam actually is.
Is
Spam is the stuff that Hormel decided wasn't good enough to go in hot dogs.
Yes.
it grills up pretty nicely.
The proper spam, the proper British patriotic spam, I mean,
Oh, here we go.
is actually quite nice.
Yeah, it grills up lovely.
It does. It
Right.
really does. It's quite glorious.
You can fry it. You can grill
I
it. You can
used
just
to like
eat
a
it as
firm
it is, and
flavor.
you have an aneurysm.
But
No.
£2.79. Oh,
I don't know if what you get in Britain for Spam is different from what we get here.
The aneurysm's largely unrelated to the spam.
Hmm. I used to like a spam fritter.
A fram spitter.
Oh God, I'm getting aroused.
You've been in isolation too long.
I really should actually get myself some dinner at some point this evening.
When I went
What-
to
Yeah,
the
no,
shop the other day, I was perusing the wares,
hmm
and I couldn't make my mind up between this one solitary tin of £2.79 spam, the posh stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't touching the 35p corned beef because that's just stupid, or a 2-litre bottle of Yazoo, which I think is remarkably good value for £1.69.
That's not too bad.
I think that's quite a good price.
Where are you shopping that's got 35p tins of corned beef?
Well, I'm not going to tell you, because when it happens and the shit hits the fan, then I'll be eating the stuff.
You'll be enjoying it.
I'm pretty sure there's a fair bit of distance between you and I going by accents.
Oh, hello.
Is that some sort of
Oh, we're being like that.
snobbery
Are we?
there, Badger?
Are we going
No, I
there?
mean in terms of if I go and start buying 35p tins of corned beef, I don't think it will affect your supply.
Oh.
Stool is just round the corner from me. You don't remember where I am, do you, Badger?
I don't even remember where I am.
I've no idea where anybody is, so what the hell?
Well, I'm here in Leeds.
Oh, I was going to say, actually, I think he's closer to the sofa than me.
Oh my God, are you in Leeds?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh.
Basically, we're all within about 100 miles of each other. Badger is about 300 miles away. Which, and if we were talking to Purple, that'd be next door for all of us.
Yeah, we're all within like a day's travel of each other. So for the Americans, that's we live in each other's pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Badger is in one of the home counties, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's my home county.
The best I've managed to get out of Badger is West Country. I'm not even sure he wasn't lying then.
You see, I like to confuse people because there's certain elements of Northern in my standard talking voice, which is exclusively from watching Red Dwarf as a child.
Ah.
You must have watched a lot of Red Dwarf.
I did watch a lot of Red Dwarf. I watched enough Red Dwarf that I started to talk with Lister's intonation.
Right, Lister is basically how I sounded as a kid.
Okay, didn't everybody watch a lot of Red Dwarf?
I didn't. I thought it was utter shit.
Blasphemy.
Okay, granted, that may have been your
it's-
opinion, but you still didn't watch it?
Oh,
I've
it's
known a lot of
fortunate we
people
live a
who
long
say
way
it was
away
utter
from each
shit
other.
who have seen every episode.
I tried watching it, and it was shit. It was utter shit. I don't like that bloke. What's he called? Craig Charles. Or is he the bloke who sings about Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and stuff?
No, Craig Charles is the
Are you
star.
telling me you didn't like Robot Wars?
No, that was crap. What was the point of fucking Robot Wars? It
We're
was fucking
doomed.
shite. It was absolute shite.
We're doomed.
There was
Doomed,
that,
I say.
what was he called? Craig Charles or Craig
Yeah.
David? Or was it
Craig
Ray
Charles.
Charles?
Craig-
No,
yeah,
Ray
Craig
Charles was
Charles.
the blind guy. Ray Charles was the blind guy who played the piano, wasn't he? No, or did he sing things?
I don't know.
That
I
was
don't know.
Ray,
who
yeah,
people
Ray
are.
Charles, wasn't it?
Ray Charles.
Lord Charles. Oh no, he was that ventriloquist dummy. Craig
Yeah.
Craig Charles. Craig David. No, what's he called? The guy.
Craig,
Craig
David.
Charles.
Craig
Craig Charles.
David.
Can I get a rewind?
Can I get a rewind?
Oh, fucking hell, I'm going to bed.
I don't know who Craig Davis is, but I remember someone on Bo Selector.
You know, the funniest Bo Selector, that I can do.
I couldn't stand Bo Selector.
Well, fuck you. Fuck you, motherfucker. Funny.
You
I
like
love-
Keith Lemon?
No. I don't like Keith Lemon, but Bo Selector in its day was quite funny. And his Michael Jackson just has me wet my knickers. It's so fucking funny. Come on, motherfucker.
Oh dear.
I'm literally weeing my pants as I speak. That was so fucking funny.
It was. But Keith Lemon now,
No, he's utter shite. He really is.
Yeah.
He's crap.
I don't understand why it's still popular. I don't get it.
I don't
ITV2.
understand why it was popular in the start. But
So what was he called? Craig David?
which one?
No,
The musician
No,
is Craig David.
Craig
Yeah.
Charles.
Musician, lately you used stretching the term musician a lot.
no,
The one on
in
Red
Red
Dwarf.
Dwarf.
Was Craig Charles.
Craig Charles.
Yes.
Oh, Craig Charles. No, he was shit. I didn't like him. Do you remember?
He was also on Red Dwarf.
I'm old enough to remember how he started out in the business.
How did he start out in the business?
He used to be on TV on these really shit alternative comedy programs. He might have been on, what did we call it, Saturday Live or whatever. And he was on, I remember seeing him on certain Granada programs. And he was a poet.
Was he?
Well, he thought he was. He would read,
Yeah.
he would read these really shit poems that were just utter shit. But in the 80s, you had to laugh at them.
He was on Wogan.
Did you?
He had a slot on Wogan where he read a poem. That's
No,
how
no.
he started.
Yeah, that might be how he got famous, but that was his thing. He wrote and read these really shit poems. But because it was the 80s, you had to laugh because it was the law.
Was he left wing?
Yeah,
He,
Thatch, eh? Mrs. Thatch.
he also narrated Takeshi's Castle.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that means.
Well, you never watched Takeshi's Castle.
I
Still,
don't
baby,
know.
how old are you?
I don't know what. Say that word again. Takeshi. That's-
Takeshi's Castle.
Is that some kind of Italian pasta?
It's the Japanese version of
The thing with big red balls.
yeah.
Big red ball.
Somebody read the comment about Keith Lemon.
What is
Keith
big
Lemon
red
is
ball?
as funny as famine.
There we go.
I completely agree.
I don't understand any of these words you're using.
Takeshi's Castle was. What the hell is the show with the big red balls called?
The lottery?
You know.
Yeah, the
annoying.
National Lottery.
What's the show that was narrated by Richard Hammond
But there it is.
Ah, I haven't fucking watched TV in ages.
with big red balls?
The flying mushroom claims more victims.
I used to watch
Wipeout.
Poirot.
Wipeout. That's it.
It's Wipeout. It's Wipeout in the UK.
No, Wipeout. Well, it's made. It's not made in the UK. It's made in Brazil.
Yeah.
It's a
That's
UK
right,
show.
yeah.
See, I haven't watched TV properly in years. I used to watch Poirot.
Yeah, Poirot's
Oh.
good.
Yes.
Only
I
the
know
David
this
Suchet
one.
version.
Oh, I know this one. I've got a fact.
Go on.
Come on.
What's the bloke called from Poirot?
David Suchet.
Yes, and he's the brother of John Suchet.
Who's
Yes. The
That's
news, the
all
news,
Suchet
the
do.
newsreader.
That's the only fact I've got for today. Sorry.
that? You didn't answer my other question.
Which was what?
Vaguely, how old are you?
Vaguely. Oh,
Well, you can tell me exactly if you want, but I wouldn't be so impertinent as to ask. for
Old
it.
enough to remember when Spam was reasonably priced.
£2.79. I mean, come on.
Ah,
I mean, it's ridiculous. £2.79. What? That's. You could get two 2-litre bottles of Yazoo for that, and I think there's something very wrong with the world if that's the case.
Okay, what is Yazoo?
powdered milk flavored milk.
It's not powdered, is it? It
Yes,
comes
it
in
is. That's how it's made.
comes in a bottle of stuff.
It's not
It's not
powdered.
powdered when you buy it, you knob end.
No, but you can buy it. That's just the made up mix.
I thought
Who the
Yazoo was a
Who
bad
in their
name.
right mind would buy powdered Yazoo? That just does not make any sense whatsoever.
It's exactly the same.
Just go and get some. Oh shit! I fucked the whole system up. Just go and get some bloody chocolate powder from the shop, and then there's much better.
Yes.
I think you're getting confused with Nesquik.
You don't buy Yazoo if you're meaning to have oh fuck it! I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't
have
buy
another nest.
Yazoo if you're meaning to have a long-lasting chocolate milk situation at home. You buy Yazoo if you're out and about and you want to have your chocolate milk on the go.
Yes.
Yes.
If you want to have long-lasting chocolate milk at home, you get a tub of whatever your local supermarket's best cheap-ass chocolate powder is.
Cocoa, not chocolate powder. Use cocoa, not chocolate powder.
But what if you want a strawberry Yazoo?
You use cocoa.
Apparently, you use cocoa and it'll give you strawberry.
You got a wish. And oh well, if you're really posh, you can use some red food coloring with it.
I used to have some Nesquik strawberry powder.
Oh, Nesquik. Now that's lovely.
Yeah.
I had some banana as well that sat in the cupboard for like 5 years.
Maturing.
Yeah, well,
was-
that's what
it
it
was-
does.
It was still fine.
And you had no bunnies living in there.
The what?
No bunnies moved in.
Well, it's my Nesquik banana powder.
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge.
Did he say bunnies?
Yeah.
As in rabbits?
Yeah.
In his Nesquik banana?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because of the logo.
Bunnies try to steal it.
Yeah, well, the bunnies
Yeah.
don't come to my house because if right, here's the thing with bunnies. Bunnies are quite agile unless you get them into like a burrow. At which point, as a badger, I can just eat the fuck out of them.
Wait a minute. You object to snail pushers, but you eat rabbits.
I said eating, not pushing. I don't push rabbits.
No, you wring their necks.
This is the Yazoo I know.
Come in the
about.
burrow, should he?
Now that's a good Yazoo. Good vintage.
Yes. What am I doing? Sorry, what we were talking about?
Snail porn.
Snail porn.
Oh, that again.
Was Nerdy in the chat? And if he is, he better not be pushing snails.
No, didn't see Nerdy today.
He has been gloating in his snail pushing of late.
Yeah.
I think you might have started something.
Yeah, it seems so.
Well,
I do have,
hopefully Nerdy is keeping 6 feet away from the snails.
yeah.
Oh,
You
I
get
do have
right-
a new waistcoat though, so that's a benefit.
but, Atheist Snail was talking about snail porn the other
She
day.
does that a lot.
Yeah.
Hang on, I've got something about that. Where have I put that? There it is. There we go.
Ah, that's the one. We've got to get atheist Snail in here one of these days.
She's not as easy to entice as Badger. All I had to say was biscuits, and he came. I've never managed to entice Snail with anything like that.
Does she do a good Craig David impression?
I hardly doubt it.
I don't even know what Craig David sounds like. Hang on.
Okay, you're going to hurt his ears.
Let's find out, shall we? Oh, that's Craig David.
Kez. Oh, I loved Kez.
Kez. Well, the movie.
No, Craig David's pigeon. No, what was it? A kestrel.
Kestrel.
That wasn't
Yes.
Craig David.
In both
We
selector
need
it
to
was.
read at school.
I remember having to read through Kez at secondary school. Yes.
All right, this is going to sound really weird.
There was no singing in it.
The earliest time I can remember seeing a naked boy was Kez.
Yeah.
Okay, we've now gone weird.
In the movie.
And they call this guy a musician.
He went down after Takeshi's Castle.
What, Craig David?
Who did he go down on?
George Michael, I think.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Oh God.
And so on.
I think we may have peak loss of control.
Anywho, I think we're going to wrap things up because we've been talking for about 1.5 hours, and I just want to, thank everyone for joining. Thanks to a very stable milk install. Purple rhymes with orange for being my co-host. Bad Tempered Badger and Critical Cripple, aka Dave, for joining. And for everyone in the chat and all the mods as well. And thank you to everyone who has tuned in.
You have mods?
Yes.
I think I've got exactly one mod in my chat.
You don't. You have at least 3.
Oh, yeah, no, I wrenched a few more people, didn't I?
You did.
So is Craig David not joining us?
Apparently not, but maybe next time. So, yeah.
I told you he was shit.
Send him a tweet.
I'll put in a word with Craig Charles and see if we can get him.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Hey, Craig Charles is stopped. No, I forgot it. Oh,
Until
what
next
was the
time, I shall say good night and see you when I see you.
Good night.
Now, where's my fucking pocket watch winders?
Come on, motherfucker.
Later, everybody.
Bye.